Yo, what is going on, guys? Welcome back to the Pride Podcast, episode 394 on the Blue Wire Network. We got a emergency podcast. I am your host, Tyler. Join my main guy, as always, Mr. Malcolm Hart, on a 1 p.m. on a Monday afternoon. How are we feeling? You're on mute, Malcolm.
My bad, man. It's been a little minute, man. Shit. You know when you're on lunch break and you're like, you know what? Fuck, we gotta record. We gotta put something out there right now because this is not good. This is not good right now. Shit. I'm all right, but not doing so well right now with this news about Frank Ragnow.
Could these sirens fucking go off, man? All right, we get it. It's emergency pod. You can go off. Oh, we get it. We understand. It's all right. Let's talk about it. We got a bombshell to report, right? I'm sure a lot of you have seen the news already. Frank Ragnow, center of the Detroit Lions since 2018, is calling it quits, retiring on June 2nd, 2025. I mean, this is as what's the word I'm looking for? I mean, this is as soon as it gets. You're getting the initial, reaction. So, Malcolm, I'm going to ask you the question. What is the initial reaction to seeing Frank Ragnow retire about an hour ago?
We have a hole, goddammit. Now we have a hole in the goddamn line. This is not good. It's like last year. This sucks because last year we had one of the most dominant offensive lines in the NFL. Probably top two, maybe number one. Whatever. Now it's like you lose Frank, you lose our guard. It's like now we have all these holes right now. Who is going to be our center right now? I'm confused right now. What is going on?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a bombshell, right? Like there was, I think for the last couple of years, like we expected something like this could happen eventually, right? Just with all the injuries that Ragnow has dealt with, he's dealt with, I think, literally everything you could think of on the human body, right? He has dealt with every single injury you could think of, and the guy has been an absolute warrior for this Detroit Lions team. So before we get into next options and what are the Lions going to do now, let's first thank what Frank Ragnow has done for the Detroit Lions, because the dude is an absolute warrior. And I think you could even make the arguments that he played longer than they probably should have with all the injuries the guy has dealt with. When I mean literally he's dealt with every single injury, I'm not exaggerating. He's dealt with a throat injury. What was it? A fractured throat. He's dealt with ribs. He's dealt with ankles. Whatever you could think of on the human body, Frank Ragnow has dealt with that in his Detroit Lions career. And it seems like now, he said it himself on his Instagram post where he announced retirement. He is prioritizing his health, and he has not been with the Lions during the voluntary OTAs minicamp. So, I think there was some people wondering why he wasn't there. I don't know if this was the initial reaction that people, I think, expected to see with Frank Ragnow. I think we still kind of had that expectation that he would be the starting center for the Detroit Lions, and that is just not the case right now. He's done. He's done playing football for the Detroit Lions and the NFL in general.
Yeah. There's a lot of rumors going around exactly why he wasn't in OTAs. None of the rumors was this.
Yeah, some people thought it was a contract thing or what, something like that. It seems like it was more than just the contract thing.
Yeah, man. And I always said that, man. Every time I saw him, always on the injury report, and not practicing, but ended up playing. It kind of reminded me of Calvin Johnson. It was kind of like the same exact thing. And I knew it. I was like, man, I wonder how much time I'm going to have left with Frank Ragnow. And this sucks, man, because now it just shows how important last year was, man. Like, we lost so much, man. And I really felt like last year was the year for us to get it done. And now we just lost like a lot. Now Frank Ragnow's gone. And like you said, man, warrior. He's an absolute warrior, man. That man played. You mentioned injuries, but he played through those injuries. He still put out there. Still, center is one of the toughest positions in football because you're constantly battling every single play. And he was out there, and he was a big key, a big success, a big key to our running game. And he's the one that allowed that, man. Now it's like shit. This is so much questions I have on his O-line now, because now that power that he had in the interior is gone. It's like I don't know.
You know
I
the thing.
definitely want to thank Frank Ragnow for his time here, man. I mean,
Yeah.
he's been through a lot and shit, man. Definitely, man. Wish for the best for him, man. I think he's gonna be a full-time fisherman now. He's gonna be on a boat now, just fishing all goddamn day now. I think now, but shit, man, we kind of need him out there.
Yeah, the thing I was thinking about with Ragnar too, you mentioned that like even though he's dealt with every single injury and he's played through it, like he never really showed any signs of being injured like while he was playing. Like, he was just always a plug and play. You know what you're getting out of Frank Ragnar. Never a liability ever at any point in his career. Just always fought through it. But I want to play this video clip. This was after 2023 when we played the NFC Championship and lost to the San Francisco 49ers. This was a video that the Lions posted after the season. This was Ragnow's comments. I want to play it really quickly.
Do football stuff again. Yeah,
Let me start from
not
the
sure if there's a guy who maybe needs an off season more than. I mean, obviously you'd like to be playing 2 more weeks, but just with everything that you've dealt with, what's your process like this off season? How much time you get back to just where you can start to do football stuff again?
Yeah, it's gonna. I think this year it's gonna take some time. I just need to be healthy. It takes a toll on you.
Yeah,
it really takes a toll on you. So I need to find a way to get back to Frank, and I don't regret any of this at all. But it weighs on you, and it's just going to take some time and really figure everything out to make sure that I'm feeling good. Not only for me, the football player, but for me to be the best husband, the best father, and everything is that.
not sure if there's a guy.
So that was Frank Ragnow after the NFC Championship game. Obviously, last year he ends up playing through and suffers another pretty big injury. What was it? I think it was his pec that he suffered last year. I can't remember exactly. I want to say it was the pec.
I know he was injured, but shit.
Yeah,
he has so many injuries that.
it's like I lost track of which one he had each year. I want to say it was the pec. I might be wrong there. Whatever it was, he ended up playing through it. Yeah, I mean, the dude was an absolute warrior, man, since he's gotten here, since day one, just the day one starter. And just like I said, man, I can't thank him enough for what he's done for this team, this organization, just absolute pro on and off the field. He's definitely going to be a big, big miss. But all right, I think now we could talk probably what is next for the Detroit Lions. What is going to be the next step here, right? Because you mentioned it. There's a hole right now at center, right? And they have addressed the position, this offseason somewhat, but I don't know if they were in a spot where they expected Frank Ragnow to be out for the 2025 season. I think they addressed it more for the long term of the future, but let's talk about it. So this Lions offensive line now consists of, at the tackle position, you still got your 2 guys. You're fine there. You got Penei Sewell, Taylor Decker. The interiors where it really, really gets interesting now, right? Because Kevin Zeitler walks to Tennessee this offseason, so you lose Zeitler, you lose Ragnar now to retirement. So who is going to fill in that interior spot? Christian Mahogany was a huge bright spot towards the end of the year last year. Will he be one of the potential guards? I think now it's like he has to be the potential one of the starter. He has to be a starting guard. You drafted Tate Ratledge from Georgia in the 2nd round. He is a interior guard who could play guard or center. And a little note so far early in these OTAs, he has been taking the first team center reps while Frank Ragnow was away from the football team. You have Graham Glasgow, who obviously has experience at both guard and center, and he's done it both here in Detroit. We've seen it, from when he first got drafted and then when he came back after free agency. And you now have Miles Frazier, who you drafted in the 5th round from LSU. So from those names I just listed so far, and you got Dan Skipper too, you got Soros, Manu, all those guys as well. But out of the 4 I just mentioned right now, what way do you think the Lions attack this interior offensive line?
Shit. I wasn't hoping for this, man, because Christian Mahogany, he's a former 6th round draft pick.
Yeah.
He played well last year. In spots and little moments when he was called upon. How is he in a full-time role? Is he still going to perform at a high level? Are we going to see another Chris Houston situation where he just completely drops off? Year 2 for rookies is not easy. I don't know, man. I'm a little worried. I was hoping that Tate Ratledge was the guy that's going to play guard. Really challenge Christian Mahogany for that spot, and whoever wins that battle get that guard spot. That's what I was hoping for. Now it might not even be a battle; they just have to go.
Yeah.
Right now you might have to put Tate at center, or you could put Graham Glasgow at center. Either or. I mean, you're gonna see those three guys on the offensive line. That's what I think right now. You see those three guys as far as starting, but it's not ideal, man. Because again, a lot of question marks. How is Christian Mahogany gonna play in a full-time role? They have a lot of faith in him right now, man. Because I mean, I think Frank Ragnow kind of showed you all the signs that hey, my years is coming up soon. Like even if you showed that video was what 2023.
It was after the 2023 season, yeah.
After 2023 season, he's already giving hints that hey, shit, all the injuries are piling up. I might not be here too long. I really wish the Lions would really address, that center and got a really decent backup center for Frank Ragnow. So if Frank Ragnow does ever decide to retire, plug and play guy right there could go in there and play. But now you're forced to play, Tate at center or as guard, Graham Glasgow at center or guard. Which I think Graham Glasgow is a pretty solid center. I think he's a better center than guard. Or I think the left guard that he struggled.
Left guard is where he struggled last year when they picked up Zeiler. He was good at right the year before.
Yeah. So I mean, whatever they do there, I think it's gonna be those three guys: Christian Mahogany, Tate, and Graham.
I'll say this, right? I think this offensive line is still a big strength for this Detroit Lions team. I still really believe in that. Now, are they missing some pieces? Is a little more uncertain, 100%, right? But from what Hank Fraley and this Lions staff has shown me, they could develop offensive linemen. And we've seen it in small glimpses and small sample sizes. But I agree with you, ultimately. Like, after the draft, we looked at this depth, this offensive lineman. We're like, wow. We have so many good guys. We have so many good options now. If there is injuries, we could do this. We're going to have good camp battles. Like, there's no guaranteed starters on this interior offensive line outside of Frank, obviously, who we were just kind of ready to put him there, right? But, we're going to have a three-way battle between Tate, Glasgow, Mahogany. The two of them, the two best ones, are going to win that spot. But now you're right. It's like now they're all kind of just inserted, in my opinion. And unless we'll see, maybe a Miles Frazier could really show something during this camp and maybe he could win a spot. But I think that's more of a long shot than anything. I think those three that you mentioned are probably the more likely to win that job, right? Between Tate, Glasgow, and Mahogany. Now, how they shake it up, I have no idea. I think it's pretty safe to assume Mahogany at left guard because he was really good at that spot last year. Now, who takes center? Now, who takes right guard? That's more of a question mark. I mean, Tate has been taking the first team reps at center during OTA, so maybe that's some clarity that he is going to be the starting center going forward. Or maybe they go the experience route, they go Graham Glasgow. I think it's still really, really early, and we'll get more answers once we get closer to training camp. But, man, all that fun depth that we were talking about coming into the year, it's just it's still there, but it's not the same, right? Because I think having the idea of having a Graham Glasgow, Tate Ratledge, or Christian Mahogany be your first option as a backup in the interior, now compared to a Miles Frazier to Dan Skipper, it's just not as exciting as it was post-draft. Because, you just assume Frank was going to be in that center spot, and then you're going to have a three-way battle between those three guards for the remaining two spots.
Yeah. And you mentioned it, man, depth, man. Like, how confident are you? For offensive line to survive an entire season, slim to none. I mean, There's going to be injuries. It could be anywhere. How confident are you these guys stepping in for an injury? You talking about like a Miles Frazier. How confident are you in him stepping in for a game or two if needed?
Well, I mean, right now, right now, nothing. Right now, we don't know what Miles Frazier is. I haven't seen a lick of Miles Frazier in the NFL. Like, the potential's there. You could have some excitement there, but how he looks in training camp will give me a better feeling or bad feeling of how I feel about Miles Frazier. Right now, it's just way too early. I think it's too premature to have an opinion on Miles Frazier, but I will speak on the guys that are here that I have watched here, and, we've all watched. Coyote Oshika, like, he's a guy that you feel, I think, okay about if you have to start him a game or two, not maybe long-term, but, he was in there for the NFC Championship game a couple of years ago when we had to play the 49ers, and I thought he filled the spot fine. And, even last year had some spot starts where some guys went down and he had to fill in the spot. So, like, you still have guys, right? But it's just not as exciting as it was post-draft when you had all those names there. But, guys like Coyote Yoshika are still here. Dan Skipper, who's filled in the spot, both at tackle and guard. It's been serviceable, right? Nothing spectacular, but serviceable. So you still have that as well. And then, you still have, who knows? We haven't seen these guys in a big sample size, but the Colby Sorsdales, the Giovanni Manus, these are guys that they took. I don't want to say necessarily early, but like Giovanni Manu's a guy they traded up pretty early in the 4th round to get him last year. So what's the development for him? Colby Sorsdale, this is now year 3. He's had some spots there, hasn't looked great in those stints, and didn't really get an opportunity last year. But now it's kind of put up or shut up time for those guys as well. It's like, do you want a spot on this team? Do you want to roll in this team? You now have a prime opportunity, maybe not necessarily to be a starter, but you have a prime opportunity to be a pretty focal point and maybe get a start at some point during the 2025 season. So it's put up or shut up time for a lot of these young guys, and it's going to be quick.
Yeah. Giovanni Manu, he's a guy that completely forgot about as far as the tackle. Yeah, he could. I'm expecting him to take a big leap this year and
Hopefully.
maybe pass Dan Skipper.
Hopefully,
in that depth chart. That's what I'm hoping for, because, like you said, he's a higher end draft pick, drafted him in the 4th round, moved up, got him. I wouldn't be shocked if he, pass Skipper.
I mean, I think that's the Lions' hope, that these young guys like a Miles Frazier, a guy like Giovanni Manu, a guy like Colby Sorsdale, they could hop in front of the depth chart in front of guys like Coyote Yoshika and Dan Skipper. But right now, those are the guys that you probably trust more just because they've shown it, in games that you could plug and play them, where these other guys, we just don't have much on them right now, especially a Manu or Frazier, or especially Frazier hasn't even played a snap in the NFL. He's a rookie, right? And then even Tate, right? Like, Tate is a guy I think that we had expectations to be a day 1 plug and play starter, but now it's like, hey, no rookie hiccups for you, Tate. We need you to be a focal point and potentially be the starting center in your rookie season for a Super Bowl window team. Like, that's some big expectations right there.
That's tough. Yeah. Frank Ragnow didn't even start at center his first year.
Yeah, he was guard. Yeah, because Graham was starting center at that point. You're right.
Yeah.
And the expectations from when Frank got drafted to the Detroit Lions compared to when Tate got drafted to the Lions, completely different. The 2018 Lions compared to the 2025 Lions, expectations coming to the year are completely different.
Yeah. So you feel like these moves, or losing Frank, losing I keep forgetting the guard, Zeitler. The running game is not going to be really effective. You think we're still gonna ball out with Monty and Gibbs and still create those big lanes? And how you feel about the running game with the interior in shambles right now? Not really shambles, but losing Frank Ragnow.
Question marks. It's a question.
A lot of question marks.
Yeah. The tackles you obviously feel confident with. You know what you're getting out of those guys with Decker and Sewell. I feel good about Christian Mahogany, but yeah, I would have liked him to have to compete for that spot rather than just hand him the spot. I know they're not going to technically just hand him the spot, but from what we're viewing the competition to be, it's a lot easier path to be a starting guard than what it was just 2 hours ago, right? So it's like, I still like the group. I still have a lot of hope for these guys. And like I said, Hank Fraley has been able to turn water into wine. Like, that's just his calling. And the Lions had a big emphasis in keeping him, even with all the coaches leaving. They really want to keep, Hank, and they even gave him a promotion to the passing game coordinator as well, as far as offensive line coach. So, having Hank Fraley there is really big, because we know what we're getting out of him, and he's shown that he's been able to develop guys. So it makes me feel confident guys like Tate Ratledge and Miles Frazier could adapt and adjust very quickly to this league. Yeah,
they have to. Year 1, they have to.
Yeah, they have to. I mean, and we talked about it last episode. It's a gauntlet schedule. It's a gauntlet division. Like, this is how Dan Campbell wants it. He wants it the hard way, and you're gonna get it the hard way, man, this year.
I don't think he wanted it without Frank Ragnow, though. I mean, that's
not. But you got to deal with it now, right?
Yeah, now you have no choice, man. Damn. Now, with this whole of Frank Ragnow, do they go out and get another guy as far as another guy to fill the roster spot, or compete?
What's out there now?
I don't know. I thought maybe you knew. I thought you had the answer. I thought maybe.
It's post-free agency. It's post-free agency. It's post-draft. You're not going to get much talent out there at this point in free agency. Maybe you bring some depth guy, but I think this is what you got. What you got is what you got. This is it. I think so. I don't expect a some blockbuster trade. I don't think people are trading their starting centers June
No.
2nd. I don't think that time has passed. This is what you got, I think, right now.
Damn. This is it.
This is your group of guys.
Damn.
Where are you at a confidence level? I know there's obviously some holes right now, but do you
I have
think
nothing but question marks. I have nothing but question marks right now.
Just
I'm
question marks?
completely there's a giant question mark right now. It could go really good, it could be really great, or it could be really bad.
Yeah.
Like we could either take a step forward from last year, or we could take a step back from last year.
Yeah.
Just based on everything. Just based on everything, as far as the coaching staff, the offensive line situation right now. How's that gonna make Jared Goff feel? As far as how comfortable is Jared Goff going to be now? Is he going to get pressured? If he's getting interior pressure because of these new guys, it could be bad for him. We could have a fucked up season because he doesn't take interior pressure well. It could be bad. So, I mean, it all depends on how these guys perform, how the coaching staff, how they perform, how they get these guys in the best position to play. It all depends, man. Shit.
Yeah. I don't mean to be a Debbie Downer right now, but that's why I always said, man, like when people just say, hey, we'll run it back next year. Dude, there is just no guarantees in the NFL, and there's so much roster turnaround. And, I post that clip after the Niners game, and I said, man, don't take these things for granted. What guys like Ragnow are doing for you right now, don't take it for granted, dude. What you have right now doesn't mean it's going to be like that next year. It could be better. It could be worse. You just don't know. You just never know. I mean, are my expectations for the Lions still very high? Obviously, they're still very high for this season. Yeah. But, man, like, there is a lot of question marks. You're damn right there's a lot of question marks right now. You have a brand new offensive coordinator. You have a rookie defensive coordinator. You have a potential rookie center. Like, you have a 6th-round pick, second-year player, damn near already slotted to start for your left guard spot. Like, there is a lot of question marks. So, like, yes, you could be optimistic about this upcoming season, but you could also acknowledge that there is a lot of question marks going into the season.
Yeah, like I said, man, I think last year was the best shot we had as far as roster wise, and
coaching staff wise. Yeah, I agree. That was their opportunity, I think, to do it. It's not to say that the window's closed though by any means, but best chance. I don't think anyone's going to disagree with you. I think last year was the best chance to do it. You got the first seed, you won the North, you won the NFC, and we know how the last game played out. It just didn't work out.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. Hopefully, this new coaching staff surprise us and they ball out. And there's no hiccups. There's no, they're just able to perform at a high level, and we're not really worried about it. And hopefully, the offensive line, they're good, and we don't have to worry about it. What bothers me is the pieces behind it now. Now, how are they going to be if they're inserted in the role? That's what a little concerns me about me, but. Besides that, man, I think the Lions will be okay.
Yeah. All right. I think that's pretty much it. That we addressed everything from this. Again, I want to thank Frank Ragnow. I know it was a tough decision for him. I know, I feel like he wanted to play this year again. I think he really did want to play again this year.
He want to go fishing.
But I think there's a reason why he waited this long for the decision. I think there was. Like he gave it some real thought, gave it some real decision. And again, man, I wish him all the best. I hope everything goes well for him. He's going to be, I think, always remembered as a Lions legend, as he should be. I wish that he could be part of a potential Super Bowl run, but hey, it is what it is. I love Frank Ragnow. I always will love Frank Ragnow. And I always appreciate the time that he gave us here, man. He was a very, very steady, good player for the Detroit Lions.
Do you think Frank Ragnow eventually gets into the Lions
Ring of Honor?
Ring of Honor, yeah.
I think it's very possible. If I had to say a yes or no confidently, I'll say yes.
Yes?
I'll say yes.
Okay.
What about you? Do you think he gets it?
I think he eventually gets there. Eventually. Might be like years from now. Like we might be old and be like, oh,
yeah, it'll be a while, but I think
I remember Frank Ragnow. We'll be old as shit.
Maybe like in 10 years or so, you could throw him and Matthew together. There you go.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Well, I think it's a good story. His center and put Matthew in there. I think that'd be a good story. So
yeah.
But yeah, I agree. I think it'd be a while from now. But I think the dude was an absolute warrior. I think he was a Lion. Like, he's going to be remembered as a Lion. I think he deserves to be in that prestigious club of the Lions Ring of Honor. So yeah, I would throw him in there.
Yeah, I think so too.
I mean, he played what from 2018 to 2024. It's some good years. I mean, he retired young. He's not even 30 years old. He did retire young.
Good for him, man.
Yeah, I mean, he did what he had to do. I respect the decision, right? Like, does it hurt the team? Yeah, it hurts the team, but whatever he was going to do, it was going to hurt the team regardless. So, again, I can't be mad at the player. Like I said, I respect everything that Ragnow did for this organization.
Yeah, me too, man. Yeah, I mean, good for him, man, because he actually retired from the game. He didn't let the game retire him. So that's good for him, man. I respect players that actually do that. They're done. He could go out and play. He could go out and fish all he wants now.
Yeah. Hopefully he can buy his own crib now. He was living in his parents' basements for a while. So
yeah. That's step one. Use your retirement money and buy your own.
I think he's done it, but if he hasn't, I think now.
Buy a boat. Buy your own place and buy a boat, Frank. Buy a boat. Buy a boat and buy your own place, Frank.
There you go. All right. That's gonna be a wrap. Hope you guys all enjoyed this episode. We will see you guys very soon with some, hopefully more Lions news. Hopefully nothing like this, though. Hopefully no more bombshells.
Nobody retire. No more retirements, please.
Yeah, no more bombshells, please. All right, not like this, at least. So I'm your host Tyler. Hope you guys all enjoyed. I'm out, guys. Peace.
All right, y'all. It's your boy Malcolm, and guys. This episode will be on Spotify and Apple. We're gonna put it on there, but yeah, right now it's on YouTube and X. But glad you guys all enjoyed us and was out to came out and watched us. So with that being said, man, I'm out, man. Peace.